Hey there guys, Inferno here with what I believe to be my penultimate Survive the Nights video. I was planning on getting some information for a new video while I was sitting on the Discord earlier, and I was just trying to talk to JB about a pretty simple concept of how they could have done the crafting system, and asking why they didn't go for like a blueprint system like most survival games that we'd be used to, like I don't know, Rust and things like that. Rust probably isn't the best example, but it definitely does it in the best way. You know, you find your parts, and then you used to find your blueprints. Now it's been completely changed, and it operates off like rare parts and things like that. But it was still a good system at its core, and it made things fairly balanced and a bit harder to get to endgame. But I'm no longer staying on the Survive the Nights hype train, boys. I've genuinely, I'm calling it here, I've lost all faith in this game entirely. I genuinely smell a train wreck coming. I don't know how you smell a train wreck, but it's a stinky train wreck. Because what I noticed when I was watching this footage that you've seen here, this is the first concept video of Survive the Nights when the game was not even a game, right? If I were to show you this video and then follow it up with the latest video from pre-alpha, you wouldn't notice much difference in the slightest. You genuinely just think it was like a follow-on video, because at the end of the day, the development seems to have just gone around in a circle-jerky loop for the past 3 years, and despite the massively childish and misleading nature of the developers at this point, and even the moderators of the Discord and the forums, I'd like to say I wish them the best of luck, but I don't think luck would even get them that far, because I just don't think this game's going to take off in its current state. I mean, it's obviously early access, but there's limits to early access, and if you think about other games, you know, like you got Conan Exiles and things like that, it's either going to be one of those games that miraculously doesn't come out intensely buggy, or everyone streams it on the day it comes out, runs the hype for it into the floor, and the game never creeps back above 1,000 players ever again. It's one of those, and I honestly think a lot of the backers are going to be immensely disappointed by the release of what we'll be waiting for since our Kickstarters, basically, which was back in 2014. You know, you're going to have waited all this time, and all you're given is a pretty raw concept of a game. I mean, there's a lot of other indie games out there that have pushed games in that time frame with probably similar sized teams and have come absolute leaps and bounds. I mean, like I say, the main thing I will use for a successful early access is The Forest. I genuinely think that is one of the best early access games for survival you could probably ever get, because it is just well done in its sense. It came far since early alpha, and it's now in a current state where I'd say it's definitely worth picking up. It's improved, you know. I mean, my channel used to be about The Forest. I've played it since release, but getting back on topic, I'm just letting you guys know that the next video I make on Survive the Nights, which will probably be on release, talking about my impressions of it, will be the last, more than likely, unless the game is fucking groundbreaking and I was completely wrong in my assumptions, which I'm pretty confident in my assumptions, so I don't know. But I'm probably just going to play it for a bit. If it sucks cock, I'll let you know. If it's absolutely astounding, I'll let you know. But my money's on the first thing I said, because I just don't think it's going to live up to its expectations. To prove my point now, I'm gonna play the latest trailer over this, and you guys can sort of see what I mean. The game really, at its core, has not changed. I know the core of a game won't change during development, but it's an understatement to say that it hasn't really changed, other than what has literally appeared to be 4 years of graphical polish. I'd say animations, but honestly, there's no such thing. So it, I don't know. Like I say, train wreck. I'm honestly, if anyone's wondering what spurred this, and you're rushing to White Knight, I mean, you probably haven't watched this far into the video, so I don't know why I'm saying this. But I mean, just constantly being met with infinite hostility on the Discords and forums, because the community is so fucking immature. Like, I'm angry at this video, but the fact that you honestly will blindly White Knight something that has fucked you over for 3 years constantly. Like, I had that with Daisy. I don't want to go through it again, to be completely honest. I'd still rather pick up Daisy at this point, by the sounds of it, because it's just a circle jerk, and you guys are probably never going to see your finished game until several years time, while I'll be I don't know, playing other trash early access games, because early access survival as a genre is total crap 90% of the time, and if you can't admit that, then there's something wrong with you. I mean, genuinely sit there right now, as I assume you're doing, unless you're like, I don't know, doing a handstand or something, and just think which early access survival game has been true to its genre and not become a sellout or trash or hasn't finished development yet. There's honestly none I can instantly think of. Like, Rust started out as a good core team-based survival build-em-up. Now it's just a sort of glorified team deathmatch with resource gathering. DayZ probably never going to leave alpha. What else have we got? I can't genuinely think of anything. Miscreated has been sitting in alpha since release, pretty much. I'm pretty sure it's still alpha, because they're still adding features to the game rather than doing like core optimization and things like that. I genuinely can't think of anything else that immediately springs to mind. Like I said, I don't really script these episodes or anything, so anything that springs to my mind is what tends to get said. But yeah, so next Survive the Nights video probably won't be for a while, unless people really want me to carry on with them, because I'm pretty much done. I'm not going to ask the devs anything on Discord anymore, because after how I was spoken to today, it was just fucking silly. Like, they honestly just, I mean, all I did was suggest a feature on the game where they, okay, I'll go from the start. What happened was, I was talking about the game, and I said, why was the crafting menu changed, right? JB rightfully said, okay, it was bulky because everything had to be categorized, and it was a mess having everything in one place. So I suggested, why didn't you just swap it to a blueprint system where you could unlock recipes as you went along? Because at the end of the day, if you're playing a realistic survival, which is what the game is, you are not going to be some engineering superhuman that knows how to craft everything. I mean, if you're sitting there right now, would you know how to make a shotgun rigged to pop on a tripwire? No, you probably wouldn't, because at the end of the day, no one does. And unless I were to tell you how to do it, or give you maybe a drawing on how to do it, or write some instructions on how to do it, you wouldn't know. Because at the end of the day, you'd probably try and put it together and then blow your own legs off. Because, as would anyone, because we don't fucking know how to do these things. Like, yes, it's a video game, yes, it's meant to be fun, but trying to call your game realistic and then shooting yourself in the foot with logic like teleporting people who sleep, like the ability to craft absolutely everything from the second you spawn in, providing you have ingredients, which we don't know whether are going to be actually rare or whether loot's going to be busted as shit like it was in DayZ about 10 patches ago, where you'd find 4,000 piles of bullets in one pillow. It's so up in the air at this point that I could probably have to watch it with a fucking telescope. You know, I don't know what to say to you guys, honestly. Like, if you watch from the start of this channel, you'll see the more I learned about this game, the less hype I have for it, because you genuinely need to open your eyes with this game. It's probably not going to go far. I mean, as much as I hope it does, I have hope for the genre. I don't think this will in its current sort of approach, because from what I've said from the get-go, really, which is the scope of the project is too immense. It's just not what the developers can handle in the slightest. It's not going to happen, because every suggestion that is made on the Discord is usually heard by the devs, and all you get, like I say, and like I've said many times, is this, oh, sounds like a cool feature. They're not interested in your fucking suggestions, because I've been so blunt with them to the point where they won't talk to me anymore, because at the end of the day, they're just saying, yes, your suggestion sounds great, so you don't fucking skip on the game and be like, oh yeah, well, this is pretty crap. You know, they're going to try and bait you in with the fact that you might want to see your pet panda come out in like patch 8000 in 2040. It's pretty simple logic. Just don't be dumb is all I have to say. If you've watched this far into the video and you still disagree with me, you're perfectly entitled to your opinion. That's completely up to you. But I genuinely think the game's going to be a train wreck, and if I'm correct, I'm only going as far as to say I told you so. If not, and you're correct, fair enough. I should have had more faith in the developers, I guess, but at the moment I really don't, because the game is just not going to go anywhere. It's to the point where I think the biggest red flag for us should have been the fact that there was never a specific release date, because that just means that the game is constantly, like, some people would just instantly jump up right there and be like, oh, it's being fixed. Is it? Or are they adding new shit that they keep thinking of? We don't know. Because at the end of the day, like, the animations are so scuffed and everything like that, that you could... I mean, they've got axes in at the moment. I mean, if they do what every other game of that sort of early access level does and just reuse animations on different models, then you're just going to keep adding more crap. And I genuinely fear that's what's probably happening at the moment. Because if the game were to be being polished by now, and actively developed. I mean, I honestly don't know much about game development, but I can genuinely bet that if people really wanted their game to be out by now, it would have been. But the fact that they're saying we don't want to release something that's unpolished and then saying that the backer release is going to be broken as shit is just the biggest sort of lie you could say to your fans. It's like, we want to have this game in its best possible build before we bring it to you guys, but it's going to be an early access backer build and full of bugs that you're going to have to report for us because we can't find because we don't have any QA or beta testers. You know, it's we have basically paid to test this game. I mean, we weren't really told that at the start. We weren't told that we were going to be playing some buggy stress tests, and the fact that it has just been rebranded as a backer release is just flat out I don't want to say misleading, but poorly marketed is what I'm going to go with. But I don't know. A lot of the things I've said are probably just out of general discomfort with how the game's been developed at this point. Like I say, I don't know much about game development, so if anyone wants to jump up and be like, hey, you probably know absolute shit about game development, you could completely correct. But at the end of the day, like, there are other people out there somewhere that would probably do a better job, and obviously they aren't doing it, so we're kind of stuck with what we have. And the fact that all of the early access survival games are total shit and we're stuck with Survive the Nights is the only reason that most people are interested in it, because they have faith it's going to revive the genre. And the instant it doesn't, because it's broken and they accidentally disconnect and get teleported 4 kilometers away from their friend and can't get a car back because they haven't been added yet, they will also see that. I mean, I don't want to attempt to change people's opinions. I just want to warn you that you should not be expecting the saviour of the survival genre from this. Like I say, might be wrong. Personally, I don't think I will be, but obviously that's just me backing up my own opinions. Anyway, swiftly moving on to the sort of... I'm just going to call this the update segment of videos. If the video carries on after this point, I mean, it's just going to be about my channel. So if anyone's interested about the channel itself, I'd keep listening because I just got a couple quick updates. First thing I want to let you guys know about is the first topic of the podcast, I think, has been decided. It's going to be talking about a sort of general introduction to survival games. Me and the other guys on the podcast, which you might know if you've seen other stuff from my channel prior to the survival content. Like, if you go really far back and find some other stuff, I'm not sure what's private and what isn't anymore, because I privated a lot of my stuff when I rebooted the channel. But or even my Twitch channel, if you go on there, there'll be some stuff as well. But what we're going to be talking about is all the survival games, like how it started, like DayZ, things like that. Talking about the nostalgia of the games we played, and then talking about how everything is now. That's what we're going to do, basically, then and now. That's going to be the first sort of episode of the podcast. If everyone's interested in a genuine full Survive the Nights podcast, we might cover it on one of the episodes. I believe there is a channel run by one of the Survive the Nights moderators. It's called Survive the Podcast, but honestly, that channel has literally nothing to do with Survive the Nights other than, like, a couple of podcasts, and when I questioned about it, it was just like, oh yeah, we have a few podcasts on iTunes, and then, like, the last one was ages ago, because they haven't been doing what I've been doing and asking developers about stuff constantly and questioning them. They're just blindly accepting it because they've got moderator privileges, and I don't know, that kind of sucks ass if you ask me. But I'm honestly not too sure anymore, boys. Yeah, podcast will be coming pretty soon. Apart from that, I'll just be doing I don't want to say filler videos because that makes it sound like I'm not putting effort in. What I'll be doing is just content that I see fit for the channel, things that I believe will interest you guys genuinely, and I hope this doesn't make some of you, hop off the channel. If you are a genuine die-hard fan of Survive the Nights, then, like I say, I hope you enjoy the game. I hope everyone enjoys the game, but I don't think I probably will anymore, and I don't think there's any point in me trying to mask that from you guys, because, like I say, I'd rather be sort of transparent with everyone. And I believe a lot of people agree about some of the hype around the game. It's like it does have potential, but at the end of the day, it's potential, not the actual content that the potential is there for. And if you want to play a game based on its potential, you are going to blindly follow it, and that's what I've tried to be more. Help if I could speak. That's what I've tried to be warn everyone against, because if you blindly follow the game, you are honestly going to end up somehow having a good time on something that is trash. I mean, there are some people that are fine with that, but a lot of people, like I say, kind of deserve better. You should play stuff that's kind of more complete. It obviously isn't something that exists at the moment, but playing a game purely because of its sort of promise is dumb, if you ask me. Like DayZ standalone, when it came out, the potential of that game was so immense, and look where it is now. Do you really think any of the people who played it on that sort of week are still really playing it now, other than like the die-hard, and I mean die-hard fans of the game? Probably not. Why? Because they saw that the game was a steaming pile of trash. And guess what? Like I say, however many years later, I'm pretty sure the alpha for that game was December 15th or something in 2013, because I still remember Rocket and his phrase from the previous year, which was, "It has to be out by the end of the year," and it sure as shit was not. But that's pretty much it from me today, guys. Different games will be coming up on the channel from now on, because like I say, I can't be fighting with Survive the Nights currently. It's on its way to crashing and burning in my eyes, and I'm not going to make content on something that I don't think is worth covering, because as I've said, I don't want to make false content, you know. I don't want to be one of those people who's a piece of shit to the fans, you know. I wouldn't like to make this video, and instead I'm actually like, oh yeah, so Survive the Nights is going to be pretty cool, guys, and it's going to be absolutely insane, and it has a lot of potential, you know. At the end of the day, I'm just going to say, and this is what I want to say to you guys, go and play something else, because at that point you might have found something that you will probably enjoy more, and then when you come to Survive the Nights, you will have a game that you can just go back to. If you don't have one, I honestly recommend finding one. I'll be bringing up videos soon that will help you guys make choices if you don't know, or if you're interested in other games, and that's going to be the purpose of the channel for now. It's not going to change at all, it's still going to be similar, just different games. I hope you guys stick with the channel, and I will stick with you in the same way. Not in a gay way though, because I'm not into that unless you pay me enough, but even then, still not too sure. But I'd like to thank everyone who's been leaving comments once again. You guys have been awesome, and all of you people saying like, "Oh, you're gonna get so many subs, my dude." I'd love that, because that just means there's even more of you guys, and I hope that we can get a good community going of people who don't put up with shit. That's what I'm gonna suggest. There's probably gonna be a lot of people angered by this video that haven't watched this far in, but if you have honestly disagreed with every word I've said this video, then I wouldn't recommend staying around, because I don't care about your opinion. I mean, I'll listen, I'm not going to be biased, but you're probably just a white knight, and I don't have time for you. But that's it from me today, guys. I just wanted to make this video purely because if I didn't, I'd probably end up not making it and going back to it, and I really don't want to. But I'm going to go look at the poll now to see which game was the most popular and start working on a video for that, probably directly after this one, so it might already be recorded by the time you guys are actually listening to this, and even in the process of uploading, you'll find out if you're following my Twitter, which you should be doing. If you're not following my Twitter and you're subscribed, or you don't have a Twitter, it takes like 10 seconds, go make one, follow my Twitter, stay updated, because otherwise I can't tell you updates without videos, and it's very, very tedious to do. Do you understand? Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. You good if you follow me, or bad if you don't person. Later, guys.